Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Now, I have only been a One Piece fan for a short amount of time, but I've got a lot of my friends that have been on me, hearkening on me over and over again to get on this series. And honestly, it's one of them situations where even though I'm not necessarily the biggest fan, I haven't been around the longest time by any means, fans are something that deserve to be defended. And anime One Piece fans are absolutely a beautiful, wonderful group of individuals that deserve to be respected. And especially with Oda and his amazing creation and what he says and how it goes. And man, I'll tell you what, English translators, English localizers have been nothing but a problem over the last few years. We hear these stories time and time again about all of the issues they're causing, about all of the changes they're making, completely and totally disrespecting the source material and disrespecting what Oda's true vision actually was. And boys and girls, we've got another latest edition of this now, because it's not just the weirdos out there on the internet trying to push this nonsense, but even after Oda putting the truth to bed on his own, One Piece Treasure Cruise English localization ignores Oda's canon as a new card incorrectly uses male pronouns for Yamato. Now, boys and girls, I am not far enough along in the anime or the manga to actually know who Yamato is and actually respect and love her character like so many you've done, but this is not the first time we've had to come out on this channel and defend Yamato. Don't believe me? Go check out our Rumble archives to see all of that kind of stuff out there, but literally, this is absolutely insane. This is ridiculous and just shows you more how these woke activists out there try to go out there and demand and change things just because of their own personal beliefs, try to rewrite the world in their own image, completely and totally ignoring the canon of the great creator Oda and all of the One Piece fans out there by disrespecting them and the source material. So we're going to check out this article from Bounty into Comics, getting all of the juicy details, see exactly what has gone on and this nonsense is going on as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are inching our way closer and closer to 1,200, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment section down below if you've seen this kind of nonsense before, if you are sick of it, or if you're perfectly okay with this and you're one of those woke weirdos out there who loves this kind of stuff. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. So One Piece Treasure Cruise English localization ignores Oda's canon as new card incorrectly uses male pronouns for Yamato. And shout out to Nerdigans for writing this article. A year after One Piece creator Oda put the final nail in the coffin to the discourse over Yamato's gender, will confirm confirmation that Oni Princess did in fact identify as a woman. The English localization of One Piece Treasure Cruise has been found to still be referring to the heroine with male pronouns. And I mean, honestly, okay, we have seen the way Oda draws his actual transgender, his cross-dressing characters, right? This is very obviously a female based on all the way Oda's drawn all of this stuff and all the ways it's been represented in the source material. It is very obvious that this is a woman. Don't believe me? Go check out Oda's little clip about how he draws females. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, a subsect of Western Twitter activists still believe that because Yamato is a tomboy, uses male pronouns, and at the end of the Wano bathes in the men's bath, she must be a transgender man. And if you actually know anything about this person's backstory, who I'm actually now very familiar with, you'll understand why she uses those kind of pronouns. It's because she's honoring the person that raised her and trained her. It makes sense along with the lore. However, this take on her character ignores the fact that her use of male pronouns is based on both her being forcibly raised as a boy by her abusive father. That's what it was. Sorry about that. Emperor Kato of the Beast, to fulfill his desire for a son, as well as her wish to follow in the footsteps of her hero, Cozy Odone. See, that's what it was. That was the other part I was thinking about. I forgot about the father. But yes, he wanted her, the person she looked up to. To this end, since her introduction to the world of One Piece in 2020, that's why I don't know who she is just yet. The matter of whether Yamato identifies as a man or a woman was eventually put to rest by the series' mangaka Oda himself. Twice, no less, twice. And the Western Localizers are still trying to do this nonsense. It's disgusting and it's disrespectful. It's not only disrespectful to Oda, but it's also disrespectful to all the fans out there, especially the ones that love the character of Yamato. And that's what's absolutely insane about all of this, boys and girls. More of the lovely pushkas right here. So the first rebuttal came in the form of Yamato's Viver card, an official profile written with approval from Oda, wherein the heroine was explicitly labeled as a woman. And as you can see here from the card with the translation, female. Mind you, the Western Localizers, I'm sure, did not get final approval from Oda before they changed this nonsense. I guarantee it. It looks like, unfortunately, Oda, you also have to approve everything that comes from the Western Localizers as well because you can't trust them. Boy, I wonder why AI's taking their jobs. It's almost like you did it to yourselves. The second would occur roughly 2 years later in 2023. The young warrior was included in a cover illustration specifically highlighting the female characters from across the franchise, as illustrated for the manga's 1084th chapter. And that's one of the things, this was my first video that I did over this that caused everybody to freak out and melt down because she was included in a poster with all females from the series. And of course, that freaked out the weirdos out there on Twitter because they couldn't handle the fact that the truth was getting thrown in their faces, and it broke their headcanon. It broke their weird little Tumblr fantasies. Your fan fiction did not actually apply to the real world because Oda gives you characters you can identify that are cross-dressers, that are male presenting, or that are men that are presenting themselves as women. But of course, they're not big, beautiful, gorgeous, busty women like Oda draws actual women to be. They're either completely and totally fat-chested, only wearing women's clothes, or they're dressed up like the cross-dressers we saw on that wonderful island of all of those great heroes that trained our dear sweet Sanji and almost had him in a freaking dress. Well, actually, they did have him in a dress for quite a while, but almost convinced him to keep going with it. Unfortunately, it seems like Oda's words have been ignored by Bandai Namco's English localization teams. On August 10th, the English language version of One Piece Treasure Cruise mobile game kicked off its latest event, Clashing Burning Super Battle vs. Super Saga Fest, Battle of Okinawa. As part of the reveal, the event introduced a new card for Yamato. It's art based on a drawing Oda produced of the heroine as an Oran, the highest-ranking Japanese courtesan during the Edo period, for the official One Piece magazine. Obviously, very, very feminine, and a gorgeous, gorgeous drawing. Absolutely looks amazing. I love all the color for it as well. Notably, in the original Japanese, translated on Twitter by Chernobyl Fruit, Oren Yamato's card, though it refers to as Aketo's son, refrains from using any specific pronouns in its actual description. The appearance of becoming the best courtesan in Wano County, captivating the people of Wano with beauty that hides strength, taking a breath with a kisiar, a Japanese smoking tobacco pipe in hand, reads the card, as you can see right there from the pipe. However, in the English release, Yamato's code instead unmistakably refers to as a man, son of Kato. Here, he appears as the best Orin in the land of Wano. He? Really? Okay. Records the text on the localized version of the character card. Yamato captivates the people that with Wano with beauty that conceals his strength. Yamato takes a break by posing with a kisuo pipe in one hand. Interesting. While ideology stands as the current speculated reason as to why this change was made, there exists the possibility that it actually might at least be in part the result of a machine translation error. As noted by Nakuzio when ran through Google Translation, the machine learning tool replaces the gender-neutral text with masculine pronouns. He has become the most beautiful courtesan in Wano. He captivates the people of Wano with his beauty and hidden strength. He is taking a break with his tobacco pipe in hand. Oh! So literally, even if they didn't do this intentionally, they were just lazy and shoved it through Google Translate. No wonder they are creating an AI translation algorithm specifically for translating from things from Japanese to English, because even Google Translate does not get the meaning and gets it wrong. However, as of writing, it remains officially unknown as to just why, whether the human or the machine hand, the English version of One Piece Treasure Cruise has chosen to continue pushing the false Yamato is actually a man narrative. Now, whether or not localization was done with the assistance of any sort of translation tool, whether or not it was, and that's the problem, right? So either way, this is bad. One of two things has happened. Either they are lazy and used Google Translate, and Google Translate screwed up for them, and because they didn't care, and some of their editors and all the rest of the people who's supposed to have double-checked all this stuff didn't care and didn't bother to actually make sure this was accurate, or it was intentional. And boys and girls, that's the worst part. We live in an era now where we just automatically assume it's intentional because they have done it so many times in the past. This has happened over and over and over again because history doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. So go ahead, get mad at us for being a little gun shy. Get mad at us for maybe jumping the gun a little bit on this situation, but we know that this is their intent and has been for a very long time. They want to rewrite the world around them, deny reality, and force their version and their own mental disorders onto everyone else. And guess what? We're not going to put up with it. And until they make a mistake and make a statement about this was done in error, or they make a correction on it, as far as we're concerned, the fault lies with them no matter what. They were either lazy or they were intentionally trying to change things and go against Oda's own intent, his own source material, and most of all of you fans out there, hardcore One Piece fans, that know this is absolute nonsense, this is garbage, and it should not be changed. We know Oda's intent and why he writes things the way he does. He has explained it twice now, and yet still these weirdos out there in the Western Localizers and all those freaks out there on Twitter continue to push this nonsense. Well, this One Piece fan, this new to the fandom person is not going to put up with it, is not going to stand it, and we are going to continue making videos about this, calling them out for the BS, so that way Oda's lore, his great work, his great universe, his life's work is respected and told the proper way, and that these weirdos out there continue to get called out for their BS. After all, they're being replaced by AI for a reason, and guess what? They did it to themselves with nonsense just like this.